What is up, guys? It is the Citrus Penny here today, and I'm coming at you with episode 88 of our Adventure Quest Let's Play. I had to again look at what episode I'm on, because I sometimes will get confused. We are pretty far into this Let's Play. That's probably why I get confused. Today we're actually going to be getting the last elemental armor that I need. I have an armor for light and darkness. I have an energy armor. My guardian is set to earth. Got an ice armor, I have a wind armor, and I've got a fire armor. The only armor I do not have is water. So what are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to be doing the Trump from Saga. It's the 10th one. Now, this is just another, a huge plus side of Adventure Quest. If you actually ever do any of these, it's just another thing, another reason why it's awesome to play Adventure Quest. Like, this is just one quest saga, and there's so many of these sagas, but, like, there's 18 of them, and they all have story to go along with them. Like, for instance, I'm just going to skip through this dialogue altogether because there's no point for me to read it. I mean, this is the 10th one in. That would be basically the equivalent of going into Harry Potter on the 5th book and expecting to understand what's happening. It would be possible, but it's just not the way to do it. So, actually just got back inside from mowing my yard. It is Sunday, I do believe. Yeah, it was Sunday. I don't know why I didn't know it was Sunday or not. School ends here, and this week actually, so I think Thursday is my last day. I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I've got half a day Thursday because apparently we just don't believe in doing, no day of school or just a full day of school. We do half days, but whatever. It's alright. I'm good with a half day of school. And the funny thing is that I still have, well, it's not really funny, but I guess it's interesting. I've still got one more day of finals. Actually, I've got one more day of finals. Finals aren't that bad, actually. I already took most of mine, actually. I think so. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I've done most of them to this point. And the only one left is, actually, no, I've got my science, one for science and one for, dang it, I guess I don't really remember. One for English and one for science. That's what it is. I'm stupid. Anyway, once those are done, then it'll all be good. So, that's besides the point, but we will be fighting these things really quick. I think this is going to be generally a pretty easy quest. I'm not actually sure completely, but I also don't know what levels this armor is for, but I'm pretty sure I can get one near my level. It's one of those armors that you can get a bunch of different forms of, the Desert Conqueror set, so I'll get one that works. I always thought this guy was an interesting opponent to fight because he changes. Like, his elemental resistances change, so, like, you want to hit him whenever he's not, his things aren't high, and then you can hit a lot on him. Or you can accidentally hit him when it's not that high, and then, well, actually, if you hit him I think when you hit him when it's high, it does less, and when negative, it does more, is what I would, if this game actually goes by what it means, though, then, yep, the higher it goes, okay, that makes sense. The higher it goes, the more damage you do. It also is kind of weird, considering that most things in this game are actually the opposite. The higher number it is, the more you hit, but if it's negative, you do, like, no damage. So, anyway, it goes up and down, and I'm going to put out I think Twilly actually heals more than my Fairy Godmother thing. Fairy Godmother's pretty good in the idea that she can heal so many different things. Like, she can heal mana, heal HP, and she can hit, but I think overall Twilly is better because he heals more. And occasionally he can do like this huge heal. I just don't seem to be healing quite as much whenever I use the Fairy Godmother thing. So, yeah, I'm not going to use it. It's not as effective. Also, I think, I'm not actually sure, but I think I'm able to get a new Twilly here soon. I just had to go back and beat the one boss for it's the 10th anniversary quest. But it should be pretty easy. I guess we're fighting another one, and everything here is dull, which is kind of weird. I guess it's going to be a repeating thing, kind of like how in the Secret Saga place, like all the Secret quests, it's got all the things are like shadow monsters and things. That's another one. It's there's like the Devourer Saga, which is probably I don't know. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Devourer Saga might be the longest saga in this game, possibly, quite possibly, maybe not. But then there's the Secret one. There's this one. There's a lot of different huge sagas. There's one in Granamore. I don't even know what it is, but there is one in Granamore. Also, I haven't been able to use Green Envy yet, so let's see what we can do with this new spell. Not too much, but it should be expected because this thing seems to have a lot of resistance to pretty much everything. Although not tons. It's got 80% to win, but nothing is above 100, which means that it's pretty good at everything. But I've got a wind spell, so he's in bad day. He's in for a bad day. I still have to get a new wind weapon. If you can suggest a good wind weapon in the comment section. I might want to get a new energy weapon as well. Reason being is because I have this thing called the Veil Sword, which I don't even know why, but I mean, from my luck, it seems like to always do the special attack, and I don't want it to do the special attack. It's not that good of a special attack, so I'd rather it do its just regular attack, and half the time, or even more than half the time, it seems like for me, it just happens to do the special attack, which is not like it's terrible. There are some weapons that have just terrible special attacks. I think I actually had a wind weapon that had a really bad special attack. Or no, I had a wind weapon once that did good damage, but its special attack was good, but it did damage in all elements, so it was also pretty bad, especially if you're fighting something that you could heal by hitting it with all the different elements. I think it was like the Sphinx sword or something. I forget what it was actually called, but it was an interesting weapon. Eye of the Sphinx, I think it was called. But after I get this armor, which I don't know how long it's going to take, but after I get the armor, I'll probably stop by at Warlick's shop to see if there's a wind weapon for me to buy. Because I do have this bow, but bows are not in my experience very good. The idea behind bows, I think, is that they are 100% proc, which I'm not even sure what proc means, but I'm just going to use the word because that's the word you're supposed to use. It's basically like 100% special attack, like it only does special attacks. So the idea behind bows is that their damage is fixed, so you can wear like defensive armors and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's the idea behind them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is my idea behind them. So basically, you would, in short, use a really defensive armor that doesn't have a lot of there's two different types of armors in this game mostly. There's offensive and defensive. Defensive armors will make you block a lot more. They're usually more based on elemental modifiers, and maybe they only attack once or they hit low, whereas the offensive armors can hit a lot and they hit pretty high usually. Whoops, I didn't mean to use energy, but this thing has high resistances to literally everything, so we should be good. Also, I think I might be able to kill it this turn, maybe not. Nope, it's not gonna die, but we're close. And the only thing that I don't like about Twilly is I can't heal my NP, but to be honest with you, it's not that bad. Considering that even if I use Fairy Godmother, it doesn't really heal that much NP, to be honest with you. Also, if you look at my level here, we've gotten quite a bit of XP since I have started trying to farm a little bit. Since the last time I was like, I'm going to farm, but then I ended up revamping my character and getting all my new equipment because it's more time effective and I kind of need new equipment. But yeah, we've gotten, I think we're like down here near like 500,000, like over like 600,000 or something. So we got quite a bit of XP from just doing these quests. And I think in a way, now this is also, I want to put this out. It's weird because they don't actually randomly generate, they only use one shadow. You see what I mean? Like this is you, right? Is this you? Yeah, this is you. And this is my hair. So what they did when they actually made this quest is that they made it the regular default hairstyle, and they don't have it set to like it goes to what your character actually has on their head. It's kind of funny. I don't really care. It's just like one of those little things you can notice. I normally wouldn't even notice that. Honestly, that's not really a big deal, but it's interesting to note. Because some games will actually like randomly generate, like just not randomly generate. I don't even know what I'm saying. For instance, I think Just Cause 2 does this. I can't think of what it is. Resident Evil does this. It like changes what you look like in the cutscenes. And yeah, I think it's Resident Evil 5 actually does it. And basically, like if you have some weird armor on, it'll actually change the cutscene to make you have that weird armor on, which is kind of funny at the same time because the story is supposed to be kind of serious, and then you've got like this stupid looking armor on, and then it changes it a little bit. It's kind of funny, but yeah. By the way, Resident Evil 5 was quite a fun game. Resident Evil 4 is actually my top 5 favorite games, and I think from Resident Evil 4 kind of took the direction of the series in a little bit different of a way, but it still kind of stood true to what Resident Evil was. It was kind of like this, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a survival, it's not a survival horror game, but it's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain with it. I guess it's kind of like a survival horror game. I then progressively from 5 on to 6, which I heard 6 was pretty terrible, became more action oriented. I think Resident Evil 5 did its job really well though. Like, I feel like Resident Evil 5 might not have been as good as it was if it hadn't had multiplayer, because the multiplayer aspect of it was like the best thing ever. I think like the best part of the game was the fact that I could get on with my friends and just hang out and play, because me and my one friend actually played through like the entire game together. And then it's weird though, because on the last level of Resident Evil 5, I don't know if you guys had trouble with this, but me and my friend did. Whenever Sheva is like hanging on to the ledge, me and my friend tried it like 15 times, and I don't know if it was a glitch or whatever, but no matter how hard we tried to actually do the part, we couldn't get Sheva to, like, whoever was playing Sheva, because like he couldn't do it. So I was like, oh, it can't be that hard, let me try it. And I tried it and I couldn't do it. Like Sheva, who's the female character in the game, she has to pull herself up on like on the cliff, and you have to like press a combination of 2 buttons, I think, and I couldn't get it to do it. I think the thing is that looking back on it, the guy, whoever you're fighting, Wesker? Was it Wesker that you fought in that one? I think it was Wesker. Anyway, so you have to fight Wesker, and apparently, I think what happens is that he tries to hit you off, and what we were expecting is that you didn't have to do that, and maybe he was like hitting us with one of his things, and that's why we were falling off. But we even tried it like where like one of us would like shoot the crap out of Wesker with like a machine gun while they were trying to do it. We couldn't do it, so it was weird because like we would play through the entire game together, and we'd be like, we gotta go beat the last level by ourselves because apparently we can't pull ourselves up as Sheva, which I thought was weird. But I think we were just missing something. Anyway, Resident Evil 4 was definitely better than Resident Evil 5, but if they had Resident Evil 4 with co-op, it'd be awesome. Although I feel like Resident Evil 4 might not have been like a co-op game, you know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be like this, whoops, didn't mean to do that, that was a waste of MP. It was more of like an experience to experience by yourself. There are different games. I mean, some games would be terrible without multiplayer. Like, Adventure Quest works perfectly without multiplayer. It would be cool to have multiplayer, but it works perfectly with single player. Whereas games like, a lot of games out there, like Left 4 Dead 2, I mean, if you didn't have multiplayer in Left 4 Dead 2, the game wouldn't be fun. The game is fun because it's co-op, because you can actually play with people that you know, because you can use teamwork to win things like versus. In fact, I'm not even a fan of Left 4 Dead 2 as far as like the campaigns go. Like, the place I love to play Left 4 Dead 2, which it is my most played game on Steam. I've got like almost 300 hours on that game, is versus mode, because you play as infected and you play as the humans, and you work together with your team to beat the other team, and it feels like there's a competitive part to it, and there's also this teamwork part to it. And if that wasn't in the game, it wouldn't be that fun, in my opinion. Other games, a pretty big example would be something like Call of Duty. I mean, I'm not a fan of Call of Duty, really. I used to play it a lot. It's still a pretty cool game, I guess, if you like that kind of genre. I've been moving away from playing FPS games altogether, but if you like fast-paced Twitch FPS shooters, Call of Duty is pretty cool, I guess. But it would suck if there was only single player, because be honest with yourself, the only reason why people don't play Call of Duty is for the multiplayer. The single player can sometimes be fun, just to play it, but like it's not. If you wouldn't buy a $60 Call of Duty game to play the campaign, because it's just not that good. If you wanted to play a game for the campaign, you pick a good single player game, maybe something like, or just a really good game that has a really good story, something like Uncharted. I'm a pretty big fan of the Uncharted series. I don't know. Just a question. Do you guys like the Uncharted series? If you play Uncharted at all, yeah, it's a PS3 exclusive. So if you don't have a PS3, you obviously probably, one, you haven't played it, or two, you've played it on someone else's system, or maybe you have both. Maybe you have a PS3 and Xbox. As you guys might know, or maybe not know, I'm mostly a PC gamer. Although I play a lot on the PS3 on games that I get on the PS3 because they come out on there first, and I just don't like waiting for things to come on PC. Like, for instance, Dark Souls 2. I would have waited for it to come out on PC, but like I just didn't feel like waiting. It would have taken a long time. It took like a little bit over a month to come to PC anyway, and I just got it on PS3 instead. Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, came out well after the actual release of the game. It was like Christmas time when the game came out in March, and Christmas time they came out with Full Burst, which they released the PC version at the same time, which would have been awesome if it came out at the same time. Like the new Naruto game coming out, Naruto Revolution. Like I would have been a huge fan of Naruto Revolution being on PC when it comes out, but I'm not sure if it is or not. It might be. Who knows? I will have to figure that one out. Right now, at least, it's not. As of like right now, if I were to tell you it's not going to be on PC. That would be a pretty good estimate because you can like pre-order the game right now, and the only things you can pre-order it for are PS3 and Xbox 360. But I think they realized how big of a market PC is, actually. The funny thing is, that's like one of the big things. Since it's not an exclusive title, it's not exclusive to the PS3, what they noticed probably is that, wow, there's a huge market for this game on PC. And I think one of the reasons for... Oh, I actually skipped its turn. That's pretty funny. I think one of the biggest reasons why it's big on PC is because of the lack of fighting games on the computer. I also think the fighting games are really hard to play on the computer. Oh, well, a fighting game like Naruto would be really hard to play on the computer. Fighting games in general are kind of scarce. Like, you've got like Street Fighter and stuff, and Mortal Kombat. Those games work decently well with keyboard because they're 2D. But if you're talking about something like a Naruto game or something with like, it's 3D, you know what I mean? Like the battlefield of the game is 3D and you've got to move around. I feel like that's hard to do on the PC. One, it's not made with PCs in mind. The PC is so different from consoles that like as far as the controllers go. Like, when you think about it, people think PS3 and Xbox are so much different, but they're not really. Like, the controllers are essentially the same exact thing with some minor differences, because the controllers are, at the end of the day, the exact same thing, but a little bit different. And I know a lot of people think, like, oh, well, one is better over the other, but in general, they're pretty much the same thing. Also, yep, he's doing earth damage anyway, so might as well just keep this armor on. Anyway, I think the keyboard and mouse is hard to put some things on, but the keyboard and mouse is much better for a lot of things too. Like, for instance, RTS games, things like that. They weren't made with consoles in mind, whereas a lot of the games that come onto the consoles first aren't made with PCs in mind because they're just not made for that platform. Like, if you tried to play Age of Empires on the console, or if you tried to play Total War on the console, it just doesn't work as well. Even things like Civilization, like Civ, they have one Civilization game for I think it was on all consoles. It just didn't work very well. Like, it worked, but it didn't work very well compared to something maybe like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good game. Well, I'm just gonna compare it to the PC. On the PC, Civilization 5 works really good. You can zoom in, zoom out really easily, move around with the mouse really easily. But in general, on the console, it's just a little bit more clunky. Although Civilization 5 wasn't on the console, it was some weird Civilization game. Also, I'm just noticing this now, but I think they redesigned what the trunks might look like, and they just didn't redesign them what they look like air. It's just another one of the examples of Adventure Quest, like, not changing some of the designs, but keeping some of them. Although this one's kind of weird. Like, you know, a good example would be something like the Drackles. Like, Drackles look so much different than what they used to, but in a lot of the cutscenes and things, they actually look the same. So it's actually the opposite. The Drackles look old in a lot of the cutscene things, and then when you fight them, they're actually the new Drackles. Or if you go to the really old quests, sometimes the Drackles actually look old when they're in the cutscene things, and whenever they're actually being fought. The new Drackles definitely look a lot more menacing, although the old ones look more like a donkey-looking thing. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution occur in Adventure Quest, because I used to play this game all the time. Like, my main character, I call him the main character, who's only level 70, but my oldest character, I think it was mid, like, 2004 or something, really old, but yeah, that was before they did all the graphical reworks. But anyway, Ice 9. I like Ice 9. Also, it's pretty cool because it does 9 attacks. I think the chance for a lucky strike is 1 in 10. So out of the 10 attacks, it's almost near 10 attacks. So most of the time you'll get 1 lucky strike, but who knows? It adds a lot of damage, but you know, in general, you sometimes don't get 1. But the odds are in your favor that you're gonna get 1, rather than using something like my energy spy have only hits twice, which is a pretty slim chance of actually getting a lucky hit. But when you do get 1, it does hit tons of damage. No, we can't. Like, for instance, look, this is my wind weapon. It does 97 damage. I mean, it's good for like a defensive armor, but I can hit so much more with just a regular weapon. So that's a 94. I can probably hit a 94 just slicing someone with a weapon. Like, for instance, boom, boom, 7950, which that's not a good example of it, but sometimes you could hit like a 90, 100, and 190 is way better than 94. That's pretty much double the damage. It's actually more than double the damage. But this is why I don't actually like this energy sword, kind of, because it does this little special attack, which doesn't hit that much. It's not that big of a deal, but I feel like it does it way too much for it to actually be an effective weapon. Because I feel like every single time I'm like, do damage, and then it's just like, oh, well, let's do the special attack, because it's really good. It's not really good. Special attack is pretty bad. Alright, I wonder when this thing is going to end. I have a feeling it's going to be soon here, because, quite honestly, I think maybe this guy's the boss. He is the master, so maybe this is the end. Did I read that right? Nope, I didn't read that right. That was wind was most effective. Water wasn't. Okay, well, whatever. It's whatever. Anyway, so I will actually... He kind of attacks like the Morningstar set. I'm going to be selling the Morningstar set, actually. Although it's kind of cool. I did elementize my armor to earth, so I don't really need that anymore. Also, I want to check something really quick. What is my earth resistance with this? 35. What is it with this? 33. That's actually interesting. So, this is an earth armor, especially with an earth shield. It's actually a really good earth armor. But, at the end of the day, this is better, and, well, my guardian robes are better, and I need a new armor. And you can't get rid of your guardian armor, so, yeah, we can't really be doing that. I'm just going to use this spell, because I love it. It's pretty awesome. It just, like, it hits whatever they're weakest to, light or darkness, and it looks pretty awesome as well, so... We will see. I'm just a guess, but I'm guessing this is the last guy you gotta fight until the end. I'm hoping this is the last guy. I feel like I've fought a lot of things for this one armor. Although it does 1 damage at the end, most of the time whenever you're fighting something that's light or darkness, I'm gonna be wearing my light and darkness armor, so that whole thing hitting me at the end there, 1, I shouldn't hit that much, and 2, I think it hits pretty low. It hits lower than it would on a monster, so... Yeah, we'll use wind again, because wind is the most effective on him. But that, wow, I think we should have started using that wind spell earlier. We would have gotten this fight done a lot shorter, or a lot quicker. Yep, I can't speak English. Okay, so also I was wondering for a little bit whether the offensive lean counted for spells too, but I don't think it does, because this is right here. Your armor attack to deal 1.125 damage, which makes me believe that only the attacks from the actual armor do that extra damage, and nothing else does. So, like, for instance, I don't even know if that does. Like, that attack right there, since it's classified as a special-only weapon, I don't even know if that does. But, like, if you're attacking with a sword or whatever, I think it will boost it. Okay, I'm actually going to pause this, because it's getting way too long, and I have to keep on killing the same people over and over again. So, I will come back whenever we're almost done here. Alright, we actually had to fight 2 more Trump people, and we got to the end. So, unfortunately, the best armor we can get is actually this one right here, but we can't get it because it's level 98. So, I am assuming that this is actually decently good, because it is Guardian only, so it's actually 3 levels higher than it says. It's pretty much a general rule for Guardian armor, so they're usually 3 levels higher than what they actually say. So, I'm just taking a guess and hoping for the good of this armor that it's this level like 81, so it'll be good for what I need it to do. Also, we don't have a water shield, but you know what? Let's go see what this armor is capable of really quick. Here we go. And Desert Conqueror G. Oh man, it makes the... Okay, I was gonna say it makes the entire map underwater. So, water right now is 56. Not that good, but we will get... Eventually, we will get... some sort of water shield. Not getting any water from that. Any from that? No. How about that? Nope. This? Nope. Okay. It's whatever. But we can actually wear no shield with this armor and still get the same water resistance, but it's not that big of a deal actually. So, water, lights, we'll use ice. Really? No, we'll use wind. Actually, we'll use ice. Let's see what this armor is capable of doing. 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3-hit armor, and supposedly it has a good water special attack thing, so we'll see what it is, and then we'll end the video there. So now we have this. Dowels. What does this do? Alright, that's nice. Not super effective against this guy, but if he's weak to water, I can see that being very good. So, until next time, everybody. See you guys later.